The right person isn't your safe harbor, they're the perfect storm. There's a beautiful lie most of us have been taught to believe. The fairy tale of a perfect other half, someone whose arrival will make all your problems disappear and turn life into smooth sailing. We spend years, sometimes a lifetime, chasing that sense of flawless peace. But what if I told you that very feeling of complete comfort and effortless harmony we crave isn't a sign of true love at all? It's actually the sign of a soul that's stopped growing. The great psychologist Carl Jung believed that the person truly meant for you doesn't show up to rescue you. They show up to be your necessary storm. But what does a storm look like in a relationship? It's not the person who always says, "You're right," when they know you're lying to yourself. It's the one who can look you straight in the eye and ask, "Is this really all you want? Because I can see someone greater inside you." Their presence forces you to confront the gap between who you are today and who you have the potential to become. And that discomfort you feel, that's the earthquake you need to break the old shell and reveal the truest version of yourself you've been hiding. This video will give you a map for spotting those paradoxical signs. Understanding this won't just change the way you love, it will change the way you live. And as we dive into Jung's world, I want to extend an invitation. If this journey of self-discovery speaks to you, hitting that subscribe button isn't just a click, it's a declaration that you're ready to keep exploring deep insights like these with us, diving into psychology, philosophy, and the art of healing the inner world. This is a space for those who want to go further in the search for their true self. Now let's get back to our map and get ready to challenge everything you thought you knew about love. So, where does Jung's map of the soul begin? The first, and perhaps most paradoxical, sign that you've met someone who can truly change your life is that they don't bring you perfect peace. They bring you disruption, a necessary storm. Sounds strange, right? After all, we all crave a safe harbor, someone like a soft couch to sink into after a long, exhausting day. But true love is not a couch. It's more like a gym for the soul. It's where you come face to face with your own limits. And it's the only way you grow stronger. So what does this disruption, this necessary storm, look like in real life? It's not petty arguments or hurtful criticism, it's far more subtle. Take a simple example. Let's say you're in a job you don't love. It's safe, it pays the bills, but every morning you wake up with a quiet, invisible weight on your chest. Friends and family, people who love you in the usual way, will say, "Just hang in there. At least it's a steady paycheck. Times are tough." They soothe your fears. But in doing so, they keep you stuck carrying that invisible weight. The person who brings the necessary storm will do something else. After listening to you, they'll look you straight in the eye and say something simple but heavy with truth. Do you remember how beautifully you used to paint? I don't want to see you give up that dream just for the sake of stability. That's not an attack. It's a reminder. It makes you uncomfortable because it forces you to face the truth. You're living a smaller life than the one you were meant for. Or another example, maybe you've always had a habit of sacrificing yourself for others. Always saying yes when you want to say no until you're burned out. A pleasant partner won't want to upset you. They'll say, "You're just too kind, that's all." But a true partner will notice and tell you, "Loving others doesn't mean you have to run yourself into the ground. I'm here and I want you to love yourself first." See the difference? They don't let you keep playing the victim. They challenge the very definition of kindness you've carried your whole life and teach you how to set boundaries. It's not harsh criticism. It's a push born from love. In short, the right person for you isn't the one who keeps you safely in your comfort zone. They're the one who loves you enough to take your hand and step out of it with you, even when it's terrifying. They don't come to keep you safe. They come to help you become brave. Have you ever met someone whose presence shook your worldview, but after the shakeup, you found yourself standing taller and seeing more clearly? If you have, affirm that journey by commenting, "I have faced the storm." That's powerful, because when you write those words, you're acknowledging that growth sometimes demands we sail through rough waters. And that is the mark of a courageous soul. And when that storm rises, it doesn't just stir what's on the surface, it dredges up what's been buried deep at the bottom. This brings us to the second sign. This person becomes the first safe place for your shadow. In Jungian psychology, the shadow isn't something evil or demonic. Simply put, it's the psychological suitcase where we stuff everything we're too afraid to admit about ourselves. Insecurities, fear of failure, jealousy, laziness. We spend most of our lives hiding that suitcase and wearing the mask of someone who's always strong, kind, and put together. Most relationships are just a stage for those masks, where two people perform only the best parts of themselves. But in a truly deep connection, something strange happens. For the first time, you feel safe enough to take that mask off. Imagine this. You've just been laid off from your job. In a typical relationship, you might try to act tough and say, "I'm fine, I'll find something else." But with this person, you can sink into the chair and admit the raw truth. "I'm scared. I feel like a failure." And instead of giving you a shallow reassurance like, "Don't think that way," they sit down beside you, maybe in silence, maybe with just a simple, "I know that feeling. You don't have to be strong with me." Or maybe you blurt out an unfounded burst of jealousy, something you're deeply ashamed of. Instead of snapping, "You're being ridiculous," they look deeper and ask, "What's really making you feel insecure right now? Tell me." They don't just react to the surface behavior, they search for the pain underneath it. See the difference? They don't run from your negative emotions. They create a safe space for the ugliest parts of you to show up without judgment. This is the magic of healing, because the shadow only loses its destructive power when it's brought into the light and accepted. In the end, real love doesn't mean "I love you despite your flaws." It means "I love you because you are whole, with both your light and your darkness." To start building a better relationship, make a commitment to yourself right now by commenting, "I embrace my shadow." That's courageous. This isn't just a sentence, it's a declaration. You're stating that you will no longer run from yourself, and that's the first step to attracting someone who won't run from you either. Once you have someone brave enough to face the storm with you and embrace your shadow, what happens next? Do the two of you melt into each other, becoming an inseparable, fused one, like in the movies? Jung's answer might surprise you again. The third sign, and the hallmark of the most mature kind of love, is that they don't try to erase your individuality. They celebrate it and protect it. This is where we need to throw away one of the most romantic yet dangerous lines ever spoken. "You complete me." That phrase suggests you're only half a person, a fragment searching for its missing half. It breeds dependency. True love isn't about blending into one another until you lose yourselves. It's about the meeting of two whole individuals, each on their own lifelong journey toward becoming complete. Put simply, a healthy relationship isn't a place where you give up your passions, friends, or dreams to please the other person. On the contrary, a true partner is your biggest fan on your personal path. Consider these real-world examples. Let's say you're offered a huge promotion at work, but it means dedicating more time to your career. In a dependent relationship, the other person might feel insecure and say, "What about time for me? Do you even care anymore?" They see your success as a threat to the relationship, but a true partner will say, "That's amazing. I'm so proud of you. We'll figure out the time together. You deserve this opportunity." They celebrate your success as if it were their own, or take personal space. Maybe you're an introvert who needs quiet evenings alone to read and recharge. An insecure partner might see that as coldness or abandonment. But a partner who understands will say, "Take the time you need. I'm here when you're ready." They don't just accept your need for space, they protect it. They know that for a strong us to exist, each me inside it has to be fully alive. In short, their love isn't a chain to tie you down. It's a pair of wings so you can both fly higher. They don't love a copy of themselves, they love an independent soul, and it's exactly those differences that make both lives richer. Affirm your right to be fully yourself by commenting, "Love is respecting each other's personal space." That's beautiful. This isn't just a sentence, it's a declaration of self-worth. You're stating that you are a complete world on your own, and you deserve a partner who honors that world. Once you truly understand these three signs, a bigger question naturally arises. If real love contains storms, shadows, and demands freedom, then what's its ultimate purpose? Why does the soul need a journey filled with so many challenges? The answer takes us to the heart of Jung's philosophy, to one of its most beautiful and powerful ideas. A true relationship isn't a destination, it's a laboratory for the transformation of the soul. Jung used the image of alchemy to describe this. And no, it's not about wizards turning lead into gold. Put simply, it's the process of transforming the heaviest, roughest parts of ourselves into something more pure and precious. And a relationship is the perfect environment for that process to unfold. Here's how it works in real life. First, we enter a relationship with raw materials. That's you and your partner, bringing not only your strengths, but also the heavy lead, past wounds, fear of abandonment, stubborn pride, impatience. Then the fire appears. This fire is made of conflict, disagreements, and inevitable misunderstandings. For example, when you argue about money, it's rarely just about money. The fire is melting the surface to reveal deeper fears. One partner's fear of scarcity or the other's fear of not being valued. Most couples fear this fire and try to put it out. But in an alchemical relationship, you're both brave enough to stay in the heat. Not to burn each other down, but to understand the lead within yourselves. And when the heat of conflict softens the ego, a sacred moment happens. It's the moment of dissolution, when you dare to be vulnerable. After a tense argument, instead of staying silent and distant, one person finds the courage to say, "I'm sorry, I reacted that way because I was afraid you'd leave me, just like what happened in my past." In that moment, every wall comes down. That kind of honest confession is like rain after a wildfire. It washes away the ashes of ego and nourishes a deeper connection. Finally, after many cycles of fire and dissolution, the gold appears. Gold isn't a flawless relationship with no arguments. That's a fantasy. Gold is the transformation of two individuals. Gold is the wisdom you gain after each conflict, when you understand yourself and your partner more deeply. Gold is compassion, seeing the pain behind your partner's anger. Gold is love that's been tempered, no longer fragile but steady and profound. In short, the purpose of a true relationship isn't to give you instant happiness. Its purpose is to help you become a wiser, fuller, stronger version of yourself. Your partner is your greatest companion in that laboratory. So, do you dare to enter your own alchemical laboratory? If you're ready, write in the comments, "My alchemy journey begins." That's powerful. This statement means you're no longer seeking easy love. You're seeking meaningful love. You're choosing growth over comfort, and that is the choice of a great soul. And from here, every road and every sign we've explored leads to one final truth. A truth that can free you from the exhausting search outside yourself and place all the power back into your own hands. Do you see it? The truth is this. To be with someone who dares to challenge you, you must be strong enough yourself. To accept another person's shadow, you must be brave enough to face your own. To give someone else freedom, you must first be a free person. What does that mean? It means the most important question, the question that can change your entire life, is not, how do I find the right person? The real question is, how do I become the right person? This is one of life's core laws. You don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. The energy you put out is a silent magnet, drawing in people who match your current state of being. Think about it. If you constantly feel empty and need someone to fill the void, you'll attract another empty person, and the two of you will only drain each other further. If you live in insecurity and fear of abandonment, you'll unconsciously gravitate towards someone unreliable, just so you can eventually say, "See, I knew it, no one ever stays." You'll create a reality that confirms your deepest beliefs. But the moment you shift your focus, something miraculous happens. When you stop searching outward and begin doing the essential work within, when you learn to face challenges on your own, when you accept your imperfections, when you build a life you're proud of, you start radiating a completely different energy. It's the energy of wholeness, of confidence, of completeness. And then you won't need to go looking. You'll naturally attract someone who's radiating the same frequency. They'll enter your life not because you need them to complete you, but because two whole people are naturally drawn to each other. In short, stop being a drifting ship, desperately looking for another ship to cling to. Become a lighthouse instead. Pour all your energy into building yourself, making your light burn as brightly and authentically as possible. When your light is strong and true, the right ships will find their way to you. So the final truth and the greatest gift Jung leaves us is this. The greatest love story is not about finding someone else. It's about finding yourself. To begin your journey as your own lighthouse, write your first commitment in the comments. I am my own light. Beautiful. In saying this, you're taking all your power back. You're no longer waiting, you're creating. So, all the secrets and principles we've uncovered lead back to one single point. One undeniable truth. The power of choice lies entirely in your hands. You can choose to keep holding on to the worn-out map of fairy tales, endlessly searching for someone to rescue you from yourself. Or, in this very moment, you can make a decision. A decision to stop looking for the perfect half and start creating the whole person you were meant to be. Because remember, the greatest love story is not about finding the right person, it's about becoming the right person. The one you've been searching for is, in fact, the version of yourself you've never dared to become. So I ask you, will you keep searching for a missing piece, or will you be brave enough to become a masterpiece? If this message has sparked a fire within you, don't let it fade. Click like to affirm your choice, share it to spread this light to other souls, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel to join a community of people who believe that the greatest journey of all is the journey inward.